How's it going, 582? This is my application and strengths in your teaching and coaching video. A few of my strengths that came up in the top five were competition, achiever, significance, arranger, and context. A few of those things that I've kind of recognized throughout my childhood or just growing up was, mainly competition. I always grew up playing sports and I always wanted to win. And, I always thought as a young kid winning was everything. So I did my best to just constantly try to win, 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 win. I think having three older brothers had a lot to do with that. We'd always play outside and I'd get mad, I'd get pissed off, and I would want to keep playing until I won, keep playing until I won. And I remember the first day that I did that, it was like, oh my God, like I finally did it. It was like a main achievement for me. Same thing in school. I always wanted to kind of, be the first one to finish a math test so I can get to recess faster so I can go beat everybody on the handball courts and stuff like that. So that I can see definitely playing a big part throughout my life. When I was younger, unfortunately, that could be a bit of a problem going into, relationship side of things. Sometimes I get mad because I always want to win when things are supposed to be fun. So kind of learning how to manage that as I go forward is something that I gotta try to do. Um, as for it being a strength that led me to a certain role in teams or groups, I always, went in with the mindset that I got to compete my butt off. I got to do whatever it takes to win. And I think a lot of people fed off of that, whether they thought I was a leader or just a guy that was going to, lead by example by working as hard as he could. I'm sure guys kind of took note of that. Another one is being an achiever. I kind of saw that a lot in my childhood just because my dad had always taught me to, set realistic goals for yourself, in whatever you do. And I think just as time went on, I really took that into consideration, set little goals for myself, and I was willing to do whatever it took kind of just to achieve whatever I needed to do to make myself a better person or a better player or anything like that, a better coach, a better teacher. And I think that played into my family life as well. I was willing to do whatever it took for my brothers to succeed or for my parents to, get on the same page or anything like that. So that was kind of also a big one. The next one being significance. I feel like this one has kind of evolved over time and has went higher on the charts. As I've become a coach, I kind of want kids to look up to me and feel like I've had an impact on them and be someone that they can come to, whenever they need help. So me being respectable in the eyes of others and stuff like that is really big to me. I don't think it's necessarily a selfish thing. It's just I want kids to be able to feel comfortable and have an impact on kids' lives. And I think I've realized that as time went on. Being an arranger, I definitely saw that play out in life and as I went through college, just because I didn't grow up with a lot of things, so I kind of had to make the most of my opportunities in order to be successful. So I definitely managed a lot of things well, I think, up until this point to get to where I am. But other than that, definitely being an arranger and figuring out what I can do to make the most of what I have is something that I've always kind of took into consideration, and I feel like that's a big step for kids that are growing up, and I kind of want to implement that into student athletes that I'm associated with. When you think you don't have very much, if you manage it correctly, you'll realize and notice that you actually do have a lot of resources that can be helpful for you in the future. The last one being context. I think I did relate to context a lot just because before I embarked in the physical education program, I was a previous history major. So I did have a lot of interest in learning in the past and learning from our mistakes and kind of figuring out, not how to make the same mistake twice. And I kind of move that over into my beliefs, just because I believe you can learn from your past, and you never want to make the same mistake twice, because if you're doing that, you're not really learning from the process, and that's something that I feel like I can really relate to, just because um, as groups, you don't want to make the same mistake twice. As a society, you don't want to make the same mistake twice, and um, I feel like if you don't do that and you learn from your mistakes, you can only get better. So um, I can definitely relate to that. I can relate it to relationships. My parents always were saying, you got to learn from your mistakes. And yeah, if I got in trouble when I was younger, I didn't want to make the same mistake and piss my parents off even more. So I definitely noticed that in my relationships as well. Take a second for this job interview. What strengths do I think I can bring to an organization? Well, I do believe I carry a certain characteristic of leadership, of competitiveness, that I can kind of get everything done that I need to in a positive manner. I believe I can kind of push people in a positive way that collectively we can move forward and things like that. I believe another a strength of mine is being an achiever. I'm going to do whatever it takes to reach our highest point, or reach the highest goals of the company, whether that be me individually stepping up, or me helping another member stepping up, or helping a group stepping up. I believe that an organization is a team, and when the whole team is succeeding, it can only get better, and it can only get better. So being an achiever and willing to make sacrifices and understand where everybody's coming from is a big thing that I think I can bring to this organization. I do believe another strength of mine is having large significance. I want to be, successful in the eyes of others. I want guys to look up to me. I want guys to see me as an example, or lead by example kind of guy, to set the standard of excellence. I don't think that hiring an average person is the way to go, or anything like that. But if I can set a standard for excellence and learn from my mistakes and keep getting better and better and better, I feel like guys can kind of feed off that, and everyone in the organization can kind of move forward. I believe I make the most out of my time. I'm very well organized. I can kind of manage a lot of things at once, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make the most of what I have. And I think moving that into a group setting or an individual setting is something that every organization can use. And I think that being a successful arranger kind of sets a standard for what you want in an employee, and so everyone's on the same page communication wise. I also believe I'm a strong context kind of guy. Um, I don't necessarily make the same mistake twice. I'm always learning from my mistakes, and you got to realize that I realize that not everyone's perfect, and if you can eliminate the mistakes by learning from them and learning from them, you can only get better. And I believe that I am going to make mistakes, and the ability of me being able to learn from them is only going to help this company grow. And I feel like if I can get others to understand that as well, as a company, we can only grow as well. So I hope these strengths kind of relate to you and help this organization move forward. And I'm hoping to see where this interview takes us. Have a good day, 582.